My issue that I'm talking to you about today was that I was not able to bury concrete. What I was doing is I was building a new hog house where I had to move some old concrete of a previous hog house, and I wanted to bury it. And it was brought to my attention that we were not able to bury concrete because it was illegal for some reason. My first step I did was I called Chris Raditz, who was Minnesota Public Policy Director at the Minnesota Farm Bureau. And his answer to me right away when I told him my issue was, "You got to be kidding, you can't bury concrete." So he checked into it, got back to me and said that it was indeed illegal to bury concrete. I then brought it to my resolutions committee and told them my story of how I wanted to bury my concrete to dispose of it, and that it was illegal. And I thought that that was not right. After I contacted my brother, who was an engineer, and he assured me that there was nothing in concrete that would be toxic to the environment after burying it, because it was once in the ground to begin with, that it should be all right. When finding out that I was not able to bury concrete, how disappointed I was on having to spend $7,500 more to dispose of it in my project, I contacted my local legislator, Greg Davids, and got the same answer as, "You got to be kidding, you can't bury concrete." He was going to look into it for me. And then I also contacted the EPA and the NRCS and got their viewpoint on what they thought about concrete also. So I did my homework. I kind of knew what each agency was, how they were coming with why the rule was set, but I didn't agree with it the way it was. So I pursued and continued doing my resolution and thought it was worthy of doing anyhow. It's good to have a personal story to back up your resolution. It helps everybody in the county and in the state to know what the resolution's about and kind of what the background is. So my story was that it was going to cost me $7,500 more to haul the concrete away and have it properly disposed of under current law than if it would be able to bury it in a field right next to where I wanted to build my new hog house. After I brought up my resolution to the County Farm Bureau, I got talking to more and more farmers about my issue and found that they were also having, or were going to have, the same issue when they were contemplating building a new structure or having to dispose of current concrete. So my point was that you never know who or what kind of issue is going to affect, or how many people the same issue is affecting. So there is no such thing as a bad issue to be brought up to the county. Just issues that need to have stories behind them so that everybody can relate to what your issue is and work together in getting that resolved. After passing the resolution at the county level, it went up to the state level, and then it was up in front of the state, and it did pass at the state, so it became a Minnesota state resolution, and it did work into the system where the government did take this issue up, and they did change the law to make it so that you can currently bury concrete, but you have to disclose it on your abstract. So this issue is one of the few issues that did happen really quite quickly, went through the system fast, but this shows that with my personal story backing it up, the system does work and it can happen fast.